Hi, and welcome back to our channel. This is about our trip to the Big Island. Go shore diving. It was in 2024. There's lots of different types of boat dives and everything, but we love to do shore diving, and there's a couple of specific spots that we like to do out there in particular that are our favorites, and we're going to go over those. This is the place we stayed at. Our Airbnb had everything. Look, there's bikes, there's boogie boards, all kinds of stuff. Highly recommend it. I'll put a link at the bottom. This is our vehicle that we rented from Turo. I highly recommend Turo if you haven't used that before. I brought this little cargo net from the house, and it just worked out perfect in the back of this Gladiator. So you could put your wet clothes back there, they wouldn't blow around, and it dried off what you were doing. All right, so we're going to tell you a little bit about the diving out here and the things you're going to see. Teresa?
What's really cool about the Big Island is you have a chance to see really large animals like the manta ray. You're guaranteed to see them, or just about guaranteed, on the night dive that they do there. White-tipped sharks, tiger sharks. I've seen a hammerhead, which is rare, but I have seen it. Frogfish, lots and lots of turtles, turtle cleaning stations, lots of reef fish, octopus. One thing you won't see is soft coral here. It's mainly hard coral.
All right, on to our first dive site, which is Puako. This is one of our favorite sites. It's very beautiful out there. Teresa's going to tell us a little bit about it.
So this particular site is called Site 40, and there's two really good sites to get in. Enda Village and Site 40 are easy to get in and out of, and I recommend you do this as your first dive on the trip. Also pay attention to low tide. You do not want to try to get in and out at low tide because the rocks are more exposed. It's a little trickier. There's urchin everywhere. So look more for high tide or somewhere in between high and low tide.
Once we geared up, it's a really easy walk. I mean, it's about 20 feet to the spot right there. But the big thing you have to watch out for is urchin at this spot. There's urchin everywhere. I got hit in the boot, even though I had really big, thick-soled boots. See right there, all the urchin. And it just hit in the spot that I didn't have, protection on my foot. But it is pretty easy. Just don't let your foot slip into the crevices, and then walk out till you can't reach anymore. Back float and then swim out there. It's about a 100-yard swim out. It's a little bit rough on this day, so we were trying to talk, but it wasn't working out. So we were going to descend right here, and it's really easy to find the spot to descend. You'll see right when we go under the different kind of caves that are right down here. Lots of cool formations.
Another reason this is a great first dive is because it's so shallow. You don't get below about 30 feet, and there are turtles everywhere. If you want to see turtles, this is the place to go. And a really cool thing about seeing the turtles at this site is that there's turtle cleaning stations everywhere. You'll see bright yellow tangs and also black tangs that are cleaning the algae and other unwanted organisms off of the turtles. It's very colorful. If you, like in these swim-throughs that you see, there's a lot of caves, and you can see white-tip reef sharks there. And if you're lucky, we've even seen manta rays out here.
Yeah, that's one of the things I like about it. It's not just turtle station everywhere. It's all the different formations that you get to see. You get to go in and out of little caves and crevices, like Teresa was saying. It's just really neat formations. It's one of the cool things about Hawaii in general. And on this dive right here, I mean, within, 5 minutes, we came across this guy right here. We've been diving out here before to where we've seen 1, 2, and then we've seen one time, I think it was last year, where we saw probably 20, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say about 20 turtles, and we're not getting close to the turtles. They're coming to us. We're just sitting there filming. They just swim right up to you. They're not afraid at all.
Yeah, I mean, with all the different creatures out there in general, I don't try to approach them. I'm not scared, but it's their world. I'm just there trying to, get a glimpse of their world, and I don't try to make them feel scared or do anything different from what they're doing. This guy's just gliding around looking for some fish to come clean them off.
You can see he's swimming up to the cleaning station, and one by one the fish are going to start picking the algae and other things off of his back.
Like these black tangs that you see here. The black tangs, I mean, it's nice. I think we got a video of some yellow tangs as well. That's always real nice for the for filming, but and then they just get themselves clean and hide into a cave and go take a nap, come back out, find some things to eat. Pretty simple life for these guys. And I think they like it here because of all the different caves, because they can hide from the different predators that are gonna come and get them. That's my thought. I'm not sure if in this video or not, but you know, we've seen 3 or 4 getting cleaned at a time, and the fish are just coming from everywhere to come and get them. So here comes this guy. He's like, hey, wait for me.
We didn't mention this, but when you're getting in at Site 40, head to the left. And if you're getting in at End of Village, head to the right for the best formations and to find these cleaning stations.
Yeah, at the Site 40 that we're at now, you'll see a white buoy that's out there. We like going towards the buoy, then you'll see the dark spot for the cave, and then we just kind of swim towards that. And,
this was a bonus find when we were out there. This is a frogfish that Mike just happened to spot, and he was moving. We think maybe it was mating season because you don't typically see them moving around. But on this particular trip, we saw 2 different frogfish that were moving.
As many dives as we've been on, I've maybe seen a frogfish swimming once. And so lots of, you know, it's not one of the most abundant fish sites, but there's still plenty of different schools of fish. These squirrel fish are always neat. I think that's what they're called, right?
That is correct. And they're always lurking in dark places.
Yeah.
Like this crevice. Here's another beautiful swim through.
And all of this, what's our maximum depth there out here?
I think 30 feet.
Yeah, so there's been times where we've been out here where we just kept on filming the turtles. We were out there for an hour and 15 minutes once. And so you see, to come out, we just swim right back at. It's a really easy spot to find as far as with the 2 big overhangs to where you can go swim right out. You do your safety stop right down there at 15 feet, and that's right about where I'm at. And then Teresa just finished looking for me. All right, now we're headed on to Kua Bay. Kua Bay is probably not one of the most popular sites out there, but it's very unusual because of all the different white sand and the people posing on the beaches for their little sexy time shots. But it's just, everywhere else is very rocky, and you just got such white sand. It's really neat to see this. We're mainly going to be out here looking for white-tip sharks. There's I think it's a known habitat, right, Teresa, for the white tips out here?
Yes, you have the cave formation, so you can see white tips out here. Spotted eagle rays are common. We even saw dolphin on this particular dive, which we had not seen here before. There's large schools of reef fish. There's schools of chromies right around here. We've seen flounder out here, so you're going to see some of the species that you're not going to see in the more rocky areas.
And on this dive, we got treated to some dolphins just kind of passing through here.
Yeah, we could hear them clicking and squeaking, and we're just looking around trying to spot where they are, and eventually they came and swam right in front of us.
The other thing about Kua Bay is it's such a busy beach. We'll show you when we get out. There's one of the white tips already that we found just hanging out underneath this rock. I'm not sure what they're doing at this point, sleeping. I don't know what they're doing, but.
And another big advantage about Kua Bay is there's showers there, so you can rinse off whenever you're done with your dive. They've got a great spot you can pull your car around to, unload your gear, and gear up.
Yeah, this guy was really neat. He just kind of stayed in this little circle going around, and I didn't want to get too close. But as you see now, we're coming out, and there's already a whole bunch of people out on diving off that rock. And this must have been a weekday because there's really not as many people I've seen out there. I mean, sometimes you have to dodge people when you're walking out. But the good thing about it is, like you said, the showers. But if you don't get there early, you are going to have to park far away. So I dropped Teresa off at the top, at the bottom, I'm sorry, and then go and walk back to the car and then come pick her up.
Boat Harbor, this is my absolute favorite dive site of anywhere we've ever been. I could dive here every day that we're on this trip. You never know what you're going to see. Right, a lot of the locals do. We see the same people over and over again. This is your best shot shore diving to see a tiger shark. You can see spotted eagle rays, you can see white tip reef sharks, lots of schools of fish. I've even seen a hammerhead here.
It's the Heinz 57 of the Big Island. I mean, everything and anything we've seen here at this place.
There's 2 frogfish that we're always trying to spot on every dive that we go on. There's a green one and a black one. So they move around a little bit. It's fun to try to figure out where they've gone to.
But with every great thing, there is a downside, and this is the downside. It is one of the more difficult hikes that, with all this gear on, that we've done or ever done before. So we always opt to rent these little 63 tanks, I think is what they are, because of this. It's heavy. It's a pretty good. It's a pretty far walk, and you have lots of treacherous moving rocks like this that move underneath you. It's really easy to follow the path. Just kind of look for the sand that's on top of the rocks. After you've done it a couple of times, it's really not that bad. But if you have trouble with something like that, you may want to bring walking sticks and then pack them in your bag whenever you're leaving. As you can see here, Teresa's making her way still through the rocks right here.
Yeah, the rocks are very shifty. Be careful whenever you're doing this for the first time, and just kind of look for your footing and figure out how to go. It would be easy to fall.
It's also a very popular boat dive, but this is how we learn about it being a shore dive from the boat.
And I would say your hike is about 1/4 of a mile from the parking lot to get to where you're at the dive site.
And then right away, as soon as you get in, I mean, this is within, I think we're at 7 feet of water right here. And then there's just the yellow tangs everywhere. You have lots of people snorkeling out here. As you saw, at the beginning, it's called Dog Beach. You'll have lots of people out there hanging out with their dogs. It's just a really good spot. All kinds of schools of fish out here, big, small. I'm not sure what kind of fish this is, but I always seem to see things like this here, to where you can swim within the school of fish.
And you'll want to watch your depth here. You're in the boat channel.
Yeah, it's very important.
Yeah, be mindful of that. These are giant trevally. We've seen them twice at the boat harbor. They're a lot larger than what they appear on this screen right now.
They're very fast.
Very fast, very powerful.
And we're right in the boat channel, I think, when we saw this guy here. So what Teresa was saying is be mindful of your depth, because when you start out, you're in the reef, you really don't have to worry too much about boats. But when you're going across this boat channel, I mean, this is a pretty heavy traffic channel with the boats going into the harbor. We're at 35 feet right here. So if you're going to have a pop-up accident, this is not the place to have it.
There's also a really good chance to see dolphin at this location. We've seen a very large pot of dolphins. And you can tell before you get in the water. You'll see them when you're on top of the water. Some of the spinner dolphin, the younger ones, will be real playful jumping out of the water.
I think this is the same spotted eagle ray. We had
2 different perspectives on it. One for me, one for Mike.
It was just so unusual for one to be just hanging around us for so long, and also just to see one. We usually see them in pairs.
So here's that large potted dolphin. You can hear them clicking and squeaking long before you ever see them. So you're constantly looking, trying to figure out where to locate them at.
Yeah, my neck was hurting from looking all around, because you could just hear them everywhere. And a guy kind of pointed it out to me, and this is probably the largest potted dolphin that we've seen. I want to say there was at least 20 out here. And I don't know if I get it in this video, but once I was filming these, I had to go, and then there was another one right behind it. It was just, they were all hanging out together. I'm at the bottom. This is probably one of our deeper dives. I think I'm at 75 feet right here. And, Teresa's probably about 50, 60, somewhere around there. Trying to get a good shot.
Your best chance at seeing the dolphins are in the morning. So you want to get in before noon.
Yeah, and I want to say this was that separate pod where I quit recording because I thought we were done, and then here comes another one.
Here's a tiger shark that we saw.
Yeah,
it swam from the deep, came up to check me out, turned around, and then went back to the deep again. And if you look closely, you can see it's got a fishing line stuck on it, unfortunately. And then here's another tiger shark that we saw, and this was probably in 12 feet of water. It was along the reef, not where you would really expect to see it.
Yeah, we were done. We were heading in. It was like, whoa, here he is, like 15 feet. Oh yeah, so this this is the same trip, and we saw another frogfish out swimming, and that is not one of us that was swimming with this guy, but I'm sure he got good footage of it. He was a little bit more all over this reef than I like to be, and it seemed like he was making that guy nervous, but hey.
Yeah, a little bit closer to the frogfish than I would have been. I'm just keeping my distance and filming that I had seen it swimming.
I'm not judging, because as long as he shares his video footage with me. And then once he left, we went and got a better... This is normally what you see them like. They're just sitting there, and you're lucky if you find them, because everything, it looks the same as everything.
Yeah, they're blending in so they can ambush their prey.
And that one is Clyde, I believe. We named him Clyde. And every dive we did out here, we could spot Clyde, and then we'd also spot Bonnie. And here comes Bonnie, the big black frogfish. And I know this video doesn't do it justice, but this is the biggest frogfish I've ever seen. This thing's huge. It's just like a big blob of algae sitting at the bottom.
And we think these two may have been mating because they had both moved significantly from where they're normally perched at. So it'll be interesting to see when we go back next year if there are some little baby frogfish hanging around.
Know black frogfish mated with green ones. So see this beautiful beach, the area. I mean, it was a weekday, kind of had it to ourselves. Weekends, it gets a little bit more packed. You get to pet some dogs that are swimming and running by. That's always nice because I miss my doggies at home when we're out here. And then you got to make your way back across the rocks. Go take a breather. Get ready for your next dive. You can bring everything and just do your safety stop there. This is Kona Honu Divers. This is where we rent all our equipment from. We highly recommend them. They have treated us the best out of all the dive shops there. They never make me feel like I'm bothering them. And they're always, whether I'm there right 5 minutes before they close or when they open, super helpful, super nice, have great videos out there also treated. So I highly recommend them. And while you're out there in Hawaii, please, you got to check out a sunset. That's what they're known for. Take time to do things like that.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video useful if you plan on visiting the Big Island.